Hi. Thank you for watching our video on the top 5 biggest fine wine frauds in history as of 2023. Before we dive in, the entire team at New Bond Street Pawnbrokers would like to thank you for watching this video. We are an award-winning luxury pawn shop in central London, providing loans on luxury assets like watches, jewellery, diamonds, classic cars, fine art, antiques, and more. Our experts are always on hand for free, no-obligation valuations at our shop in Mayfair, central London. Of course, do share and like this video, it really motivates us to do more similar videos. Without further ado, let's dive in. 1. The Jefferson Bottles. In April 1985, German music promoter and wine collector Hardy Rodenstock claimed he knew of an 18th-century home in Paris that exposed a hidden cellar during demolition that contained close to 100 bottles of wine, over 20 of these engraved with the initials Th.J. Later that year, Christie's in London auctioned an old bottle engraved with the scribbled notation 1987, Lafite, Th.J., claiming it belonged to a collection of old French wines owned by the third U.S. president, Thomas Jefferson. Kickstarting a buzz in the rarefied wine world, collectors from all over the world rushed to obtain one or more of the remaining engraved Th.J. bottles. At the end of the 1980s, Bill Koch paid $500,000 for 4 bottles. Decades later, and fast forward to 2005, the Boston Museum of Fine Arts prepared an exhibit displaying Koch's eclectic collection of rare wines and asked for the provenances of the Jefferson bottle. Koch hired a former FBI agent who sent an investigator to Jefferson's estate to research the connection between himself and the discovered bottles. As a meticulous record keeper, it was concluded to be doubtful Jefferson ever ordered or owned the vintage wine, as no records revealed any evidence. 2. Brunello di Montalcino. Brunello is the name of a particular strain of Sangiovese, and by law, Brunello di Montalcino should be 100% Sangiovese grapes grown in the Montalcino area and aged a minimum of 5 years before it's released for sale. As discovered in the 2008 wine scandal coined Brunellogate, producers of the bottles were liberally adulterating their supposedly 100% Sangiovese wines with more inferior grapes of other varieties, such as locally grown Merlot and wine from a southern Italian region, Puglia. Adding grapes from other regions stretched out the wine, making it darker in color, bigger in body, richer in tasting, and more appealing to international palates. 3. Red Bicyclette. Supposedly a Pinot Noir from the Languedoc region, Red Bicyclette was distributed by E&J Gallo in the U.S., selling around 18 million bottles. When the French authorities investigated, it was discovered that only a fraction of the wine was a Pinot Noir and the main bulk was created from Merlot and Syrah. Fines were given totaling about €180,000, and sentencing was limited to financial considerations due to the fact no injury or personal harm was caused. 4. Austrian antifreeze, 1985. In 1985, the antifreeze scandal began to circulate after it was discovered that during production several Austrian wineries added diethylene glycol into their wines to make them sweeter and more full-bodied. An investigation was launched after one of the producers accounted for unusually large quantities of diethylene glycol on his tax return, and German labs confirmed its usage. Several winemakers were arrested and millions of bottles were destroyed. The scandal had a detrimental effect on the wine industry throughout Austria, with exports only returning to pre-1985 levels in 2001, nearly 2 decades later. 5. Georges Dubois, 2005. In a trial that rocked the French wine world, wine icon Georges Dubois was fined €30,000 for fraud concerning the origin and quality of wines after it was uncovered about 300,000 bottles of wine produced by his estate were illegally blended with lower-grade wine rather than a single source. Dubois denied any responsibility, blamed it on human error, and stated that less than 200,000 liters out of the 270 million liters he produced overall were affected, and none of these had been sold to consumers around the world. So, to wrap up, these are only the top 5 biggest fine wine frauds in history as of 2023. If you are looking for a more comprehensive understanding of the biggest wine collections and bottle frauds in the world, do have a look at our detailed article on the top 10 most expensive fine wine collections ever sold at auction as of 2023, which includes a detailed section on the top 10 biggest wine frauds in history. See the link in the description. Of course, if you are looking for more videos on all things luxury, from the most famous diamonds to the most expensive watches ever sold, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like or share our video. Do check out some of the most popular articles on our blog, see links in the description. Finally, if you consider pawning your luxury watch, art, jewelry, classic cars, or other similar assets, do give our team a call to book a free, no-obligation valuation.